Well, Iran's leader is lashing out at US President Joe Biden's promise to free Iran. During a campaign speech in California Thursday, Mr. Biden seemed to imply that his administration would support Iran's national uprising.
Don't worry, we're going to free Iran. They're going to free themselves pretty soon.
Well, responding to those comments, Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi said his country was freed 43 years ago during the Islamic Revolution and, quote, Iran will never be your milking cow. Iran has repeatedly blamed America and its allies for whipping up anti-government anger and has launched a violent crackdown. But that hasn't stopped the movement. Demonstrations were held in Tehran and at least 3 other cities Thursday to mark 40 days since the killing of Hadis Najafi, a prominent protester shot to death in late September. One of those gatherings unfortunately turned violent when demonstrators threw rocks at police vehicles and officers attacked them. Well, our Jumana Karachi is following all the latest developments on this out of Istanbul and Turkey. And Jumana, Iran's regime bristling in anger there at the comments from US President and, of course, for the outside support that is ongoing for the demonstrations inside Iran. But having said that, the continuing attacks on mourners are also happening and continuing to happen.
You know, Christina, for the past few weeks, we've heard from the Iranian regime continuing to dismiss the grievances of the thousands who are taking to the streets, describing what is going on in the country as a foreign conspiracy and blaming the U.S. and Israel for what they describe as these riots on the streets. But what you are seeing is people rising up, demanding change, demanding the freedoms that they have never known for this young generation, especially under this repressive Islamic Republic. And the government, for the past nearly 2 months now, Christina, has been trying to throw everything it's got, all the brutal tactics to try and crush dissent and to try and stop these protests. But that doesn't seem to be stopping these defiant and determined Iranians. As you mentioned there, we're still seeing protesters taking to the streets, several protests taking place yesterday, again today as well. Some of them seem to be larger than others we have seen in the past, angrier, and some even turning more violent. And, you know, the government has tried everything. The brutal force that we have seen unleashed on the streets, the beatings, shooting of protesters, and the most disturbing latest news that we have gotten from the United Nations this week, an official saying that 14,000 people have been arrested so far behind bars, some of them facing the death penalty, including a popular dissident rapper.
These are the lyrics that could cost Toomaj Salehi his life. The Iranian rap artist was arrested last weekend, charged with crimes punishable by death, including cooperating with foreign governments, forming illegal groups to destabilize the country, and propagandist activity against the government. But his real crime, his music, calling on Iranians to rise up and remove their repressive regime. Toomaj has also proudly posted these videos recently, showing him out at the protest, leading the chants for change. Family members say he was arrested along with 2 friends in a violent raid on Sunday. His uncle tells CNN they have information he was tortured.
We still do not know anything about Toomaj's health or condition. The family tried hard to even hear his voice. No one has given us any information. We don't know all if Toomaj and his friends are alive or not. We want to know what happened to our boys and what torture has the Islamic government given them.
This short edited clip released on state media Wednesday claims to show Toomaj expressing remorse. Outraged Iranians say it's a statement made under duress. His uncle and others believe it's not even Toomaj. The underground rapper has been a rebel for years, fighting repression through his politically charged lyrics, speaking out against corruption, poverty, and impunity. He was briefly arrested last year, but this time is different. The regime struggling to contain the national uprising is unleashing all its brutal tactics. Thousands have been arrested, more than 1,000 of them indicted. Many protesters accused of waging war against God and corruption on earth, facing the death penalty in what human rights groups say are sham trials. Many fear the ruthless republic will hand Toomaj and others the harshest of sentences to make them an example to those who dare to dissent.
Toomaj's mother was a political prisoner. She has passed away a long time ago. If my sister was still alive, she would have become Toomaj's voice, the same as I am Toomaj's voice, the same as many who are on the streets are the voice of Toomaj.
A voice they've tried to silence, now louder and more powerful than ever.
کسی نمیتونه ما رو شکست بده. طول میکشه ولی این پایانشونه. من باشم تو باشی یا نه این پایانشونه. تموم شد. امروز
And Christina, there's been a significant social media campaign calling for the release of Toomaj and others. His uncle telling us they are very concerned about his condition, about his health. The family's calling on the international community to do something, to send some sort of a committee, a medical committee, to check on Toomaj and others and make sure that they are okay.
Yeah, Jemana, as you say, he one of 13,000 people who have been arrested so far. Just extraordinary numbers and courageous dissent. Jemana, thank you very much.